How's it going, everyone? It's me, Vivi, and welcome back to some more Ratchet & Clank. So you read the title, right? And probably thought to yourself, who cares? You might find this video completely unnecessary, completely pointless, like, is Vivi at the point of running out of ideas? Did he really think this would be interesting? I don't even know why I do that. Well, the topic of age when it comes to characters in video games, it's not that interesting, right? But when confusion rises, when you have a developer, for example, who says something, then fans feel like it doesn't make sense, that's when I start to get interested in covering something such as this. What really brought this to my attention is, a while back, someone messaged Insomniac Games on Facebook in regards to Ratchet's age in the first game. Someone at Insomniac Games, we don't know who it is exactly, we don't care, doesn't matter. Over on Facebook, they said that Ratchet was 17 in the first game. Then we have Jak X Combat Racing, where Ratchet is stated to have been 18 years old and deadlocked, judging by his armor. When I saw this reply on Facebook, I thought, okay people, it's confirmed, no need to break our heads over this, he's 17 in the first game. But then we have this, a live stream which is self-explanatory.
He's 17 in the game, by the way.
Is that what we said at some point when we lost?
I think someone says that. Well, maybe, I don't know. That's what someone is saying is official. It's somewhere between. It's either 15 or 17. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I know it's odd, and it's one of those two. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
So is he 32 in the latest?
I don't think we've gone that far in the timeline.
I guess that was a remake, so he was 17 again.
Yeah. He was
better looking 17.
The grab and save.
Now, if Ratchet was 17 in the first game and 18 in Deadlocked, that would mean all of the events between the first game and the fourth game happened within 1 year only. It sounds kinda weird, like too much stuff happening within a year. I don't think Ratchet went through that stuff within just 1 year. And the thing is, we don't know. It's never been confirmed. Like within the actual games, it's never been confirmed. Well, apart from Jak X, which isn't a Ratchet & Clank game. It was never confirmed in the first game, whether he was 17 or 15, we don't know. So that's why I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys this video, to simply have fun discuss Ratchet's age throughout the series. Was he 15 or 17 in the first game? Why was 15 years old even brought up in the first place? Well, logic, I guess, let's go with that word. In Jak X, it was said that he was 18 and deadlocked, okay. So many assumed after that 3 years were between the first game and Deadlocked. So Ratchet was 15 in the first game. Let's all agree on that. That's what people went with. If he's 17 in the first game, and 3 years after that we get Deadlocked, he would have to be 20 in that game. But Jak X states otherwise. Now, is the information in Jak canon? It was never confirmed. However, seeing how Naughty Dog and Insomniac Games were so close, I mean, for example, Insomniac Games utilized the engine of Jak 1 from Naughty Dog for Ratchet & Clank 1. So it's very possible that Insomniac Games sent that info to Naughty Dog, that Ratchet was 18 and deadlocked. And looking at his personality in the first game, 15 seems to suit him. A 15-year-old with giant crazy weapons, well, it's a Ratchet & Clank we're talking about, right? The way he was acting, how he was rude to Clank, to his inner fanboying at one point, thinking that he would be the hero, thanks to Quark. Remember that scene?
You are a true hero in the making.
Really? You mean I could be famous?
Oh, absolutely.
That all you can think about? Drek this and Drek that? I got my own problems.
If you cannot see the importance of this situation, you do have problems.
Yeah? Well, if you're so smart, how come you fell for Quark's stupid trick?
I mean, sure, Clank was a bit naive, maybe a lot, but someone more mature would have acted differently, right? So to me, I think 15 pretty much suits him in the first game. And it actually makes sense if you think about it. 3 years between the first game and the fourth game. I mean, Ratchet went through a lot. I don't think he's been through that in just 1 year. Plus, if you ever paid close attention to the cutscenes, how they mentioned the number of months, just with that info alone, 1 year for 4 events, games, it doesn't fit. It seems like a year passed between the first game and going commando. So we do know that there's one age difference right there. Well, technically, I'm gonna be technical. In the cutscene in Deadlocked, my bad, Going Commando, I mean. The news reporter mentions that Ratchet & Clank brought peace to the galaxy recently. Is recently a year, or is that too much? Let me play the scene for you guys.
Welcome back to Behind the Hero. Tonight's heroes are the duo who recently restored peace and order to our galaxy, Ratchet and Clank. So, gentlemen, tell us about your latest incredible adventures.
Well, as you can imagine, we've been pretty busy. After Drek's defeat, there were parades, press conferences, fancy dress balls.
And the wiener roast at Al's.
Oh yeah, that. And then things started to slow down a bit. After that,
There was the grand opening at Groovy Lube.
Right. I think that was last week.
6 months ago.
So technically, 6 months or so have passed between the beginning of Going Commando and the first game. We can say Ratchet entered his new age within less than 12 months. What about Up Your Arsenal? How long was that after Going Commando? Was Ratchet older by then? Well, let's go with dates. Ratchet & Clank 1 took place in 53-54. Going Commando, if we go with the 6 months or so, it could be a year. Let's go with that. That will mean Going Commando is 53-55. Up Your Arsenal, 53-56. Deadlocked, 53-57. One thing we're sure of, 53-54 was confirmed when you unlocked the magazines in the first game after unlocking all 30 skill points. And then 6 months later, or more, we entered the year 53-55, Going Commando. We can say Ratchet aged by 1 year. Up Your Arsenal, however, we can speculate. Let's just assume. With the whole thing with Secret Agent Clank, we can say a year passed. So we jump to 53-56, that being the year in which the events of Up Your Arsenal took place. And Deadlocked, well, Juanita mentions that Courtney Gears and Ratchet had an encounter a year ago. Up Your Arsenal, keep in mind, 53-56. Deadlocked, the whole thing with Courtney Gears took place a year before, so Deadlocked, 53-57 it is. If we combine this information with the info we have in Jack X, 53-57 being the year where Ratchet was 18, with that, we can say that Ratchet was 17 in Up Your Arsenal, 16 in Going Commando, and 15 in Ratchet & Clank 1. So in summary, a year has passed between each game. Well, for the classic games at least on the PS2. Size matters in Secret Agent Clank, yes, I am bringing these two into the timeline. Let's assume 53-58 and 53-59. Thus comes the future saga afterwards. Let's skip to A Crack in Time. Sigmund in The Great Clock explains that Nefarious tried hacking into the Orvish chamber for over a year. So if we assume that a year has passed between all games, while overall we can say Tools of Destruction happened in year 53-60. Now the timeline on Wiki suggests 53-59. If we go with the idea that each game happened a year later, then Tools of Destruction should take place in 53-60, but if we go with the theory that Clank was dreaming, then Secret Agent Clank could have taken place in 53-59, the same year in which the events of Tools of Destruction happened. Going with what Sigmund said in A Crack in Time, Nefarious trying to get inside the Orvish chamber for over a year, so that means A Crack in Time took place in 53-60. So we can say Quest for Booty happened between 53-59 and 53-60. So with all the information we've gathered so far, 53-57 being the year in which Ratchet was 18, and 53-60, the year the events of A Crack in Time happened. So he would be 21 by then. Skip to All for One. During the news coverage, it was explained that Ratchet & Clank defeated Nefarious over 2 years ago, so it's easy to say that All for One took place in 53-62, where Ratchet would be 23, around that age. As for Full Frontal Assault, apparently according to the timeline, Quark at one point says that he's disappointed in the lack of fighting. 6 months or so, something like that. I don't recall hearing that in the game, perhaps I did, but I don't remember. But if we go with that information, then perhaps 53-63 is Full Frontal Assault, or call it Q-Force, for other regions out there. So Ratchet would be 24 by then, and if we add the idea of each game taking place a year after, then into the Nexus we can say Ratchet was 25. Now do you understand what I said in the beginning? How this video would have a bunch of assumptions? Well, there you go. So hopefully this video helped you guys understand that it's more likely that Ratchet was 15 in the first game, and 25 in Into the Nexus. Like, this dude has been through multiple adventures for like 10 years. Next Ratchet & Clank theory video, does Ratchet hate birthdays? Could that explain why his birthday was never celebrated in any of the games? I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, if you think about it, Ratchet landed on Veldin after the whole thing with Tachyon, when the Lombaxes escaped. Does he even know his birthday? Probably not. So guys, tell me in the comment section below, were you expecting this long of a video just to go over the age of Ratchet? Do you believe he was 15 in the first game or 17? At this point, I think we can all agree he was 15. 3 years between the first game and the fourth. Makes sense. So with that being said guys, I've been Vivi and thank you so much for watching.